The world has become a global village. We give it up to the social media and all that it has contributed so far to ensuring that actually the world is a global village. But meanwhile, there's been a lot of so many things going on the social media, both the good, the bad, the ugly. And thus, the federal government over the years have been, propagating to regulate how things are done on that space. But today, in the studios of Good Morning Anambra show, we are here to look at regulating the social media. What actually needs to be regulated? Why should they regulate the social media and so many other things? On the show this morning, I've been joined by two gentlemen, Ozoma Ndoku, who is the CEO, Kalis Solutions, and of course, Jasi Obina Badolo, Chief Coach, Jasi Coaching Services. Good to have you in the studio, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good to have you.
You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
All right, let's quickly run. When we talk about this bill, it says that the federal government, led by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has unveiled a bill aimed at regulating digital platforms. That's how they put it. And of course, it's before the National Assembly. I don't know, what's your take on trying to regulate? What do you think informed their decision to take this step? Obina.
Well, if you ask what informed their decision, I wouldn't know, but as a Nigerian and who have been seeing events that is happening in this country, I would say some of the threats they are seeing towards their political ambition. Okay. Because if you look at it in 2020, they couldn't believe that the entire Nigerians could have one voice. Because, you know, one of the weapons they have during the election is trying to give us so many language, make us understand that you are an Igbo, you are an Hausa, you are a Yoruba, this person is not your brother. So they use it as a way of distracting us and achieving their own selfish interest. So seeing that happen in 2020 and also last year's election, this year's election, yes. This year's election, I think that was the height of it. That was the height of it because it was so close. It was so close as far as they are concerned. So initially they may have ignored what happened earlier, but with the one that happened in 2022, I don't think they will ignore it. And they know that the major tool that is causing this, that is making them achieve this, is the social media. So to me, for that class and with the activities that are happening, I would say that's what informed their decision. It doesn't really mean, like you said earlier, on the social media we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a normal thing, you understand? And I know that people that own those social platforms are already making their own effort to a reasonable extent to find a way to regulate to the extent at which they can be able to do. And if you say if there is need for us to do that, basically there is need, but talking about what informed the decision of this political class in trying to regulate, it's not for we, the masses.
You don't think so? Nduku, I don't know what you think about the regulation by the federal government.
Okay, regulation in itself is not a bad thing, but we have to be careful between...
The motive.
Yes, because if you're not careful, you tend to move from regulation into stifling. Okay. You stifle free speech, you stifle freedom of expression and other human rights that has to come into play. So if the government actually wants to regulate, then they need to come up. Actually, this is not the first time they've made attempts. They had an attempt on 2015.
Yes, I was coming to that because even the previous administration tried so hard to do that.
So if it's not working, I also know they're not going to give up. They find a way, given the kind of political class we have that want to protect their own estate, the treasury pot by all means, because they've seen that social media gives leverage to virtually all Nigerian. So people don't are no longer handicapped to confront the government, to confront maladministration, to confront other social vices that are inherent in the system. So they want to work, they're actually working to protect that thing that they have.
Their interest. Okay. Now, there's something, I have some of my old classmates outside the shores of this country. So we're in a platform. There are sometimes, there are things you will post. They will call us to order that we should not do this, that once that thing is seen in their client, that they will be sanctioned or something like that. So now, my question is, instead of trying to stifle that the language you use, because regulation is just, let us just say it as a word they will use to know that it is a good thing they want to do. Now, instead of doing that, don't you think it would be better, to have trained IT personnel working under the federal government to checkmate some excesses of the social media? I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
Okay, let me come in.
All right.
I understand where you're
All
coming
right.
from. So, and these things are in place already.
Okay.
So the control system you are trying to, you just mentioned, are actually in place. Let me use, for instance, the issue of bulk SMS. When there were a lot of frauds that were emanating from bulk SMS, the NCC came up with a directive, had a special unit within their agency that made it almost impossible for you to send bulk SMS without having your identity in place, without having necessary approvals. At least, because I remember then people could actually walk into your...
That could serve as checks
yes,
and
that
balances.
is serve as checks and balances. And some of this, like the Facebook itself, also have fact checkers. There's some things you upload on Facebook, and Facebook comes to the bottom of that thing you posted, and they will tell you that this is wrong, that they've run a fact check on it and it's wrong, or the information is not accurate. Or Facebook can actually tell you, can pull down the thing or give you a query to say this thing you posted is in contravention to their policy and all those stuff. So this it is not like an all-commerce thing. No, there are actually checks that are in place already. So, but the Nigerian government wants to take it.
A step
Bring
higher.
it
All
down-
right.
bring it
Now,
down- bring it down to Nigeria.
That's my next question. Thinking of what they plan to do, what do you think are their plans, and what effect do you think it's going to have on the governance of the nation and, of course, the people?
Well, it's just like what Uzo have already said. You see, the truth is, if you look at the media, the common man don't really believe in what is coming out from our own media we already have. In fact, they've actually seen the social media as a rescue when it have to do with that. Because when you have a media that the government have to decide what is being put up there and all that, you find out that is a big issue. You understand? So, and that makes the common man to lose interest in such a media. But now, the social media, actually, there are a lot of misinformation happening there, which also needs to be addressed. People have lost business because of just a post that is not even up to a paragraph somebody posted on social media. We also saw what happened during the Mohbad case, how Naira Marley had to lose up to 500,000 followers in less than 24 hours because of that particular case. And we also know the one that is going on recently with Tommy, of one man that made a video and was saying all manner of things about Tommy. Whether you like it or not, Tommy is going to lose a lot of sales because of that particular post. And that post, I don't think is up to 5 minutes. If it's up to, I don't think it's up to 10 minutes. And it doesn't cost whoever that made that post anything to make that kind of post, but the person is losing, the person that is affected is actually losing a lot of money. So there are a lot of harmful content, because when we do all these things, they have a way of influencing people's opinion and action. Whether you like it or not, you may think, okay, we remember what happened with a lady who bought a Risco and felt the sugar was too much, you understand, and went to her Facebook and she has a lot of followers. So when people end up doing something and become consistent and we're able to have a lot of followers without proper training, they make a lot of mistakes that end up affecting the entire business. I know when that one was going on, I told people that look at what this man has put in place, and this lady wants to use just this post. I know people said all manner of things, but as a business person, as an entrepreneur, I know the impact of that particular statement to the entire business. So generally, if there is a way, if that is actually the concern of the government, if that's the concern of the government, I don't think I will have a problem. But I want you to be, I want you to know that that is not their concern. That is not their concern in any way. You understand? But if it's for fake news, the young people as well are looking for how to create followership. You know, when they've seen so much money, okay, look at the way the country is now. Dollar is about 1,300. And a young man knows that if I can be able to create content and I have enough followers, I can be making as much as $1,000 in a day. I can be making as much as $100 in a day. So they can do anything. If any event happens now, they know how to go and create a video. They know how to go and manipulate things. They can even get something that happened 5 years ago and try to bring it up because there is no date to it. And you just feel that this thing just happened now. And before, people will start reacting to it. So there is actually need for control. But my only issue is leaving it to the class of people that is trying to do that is where I'm worried about. That's just the thing.
Okay, what's your take? You know, what do you think they want to do, and you know, its effect on governance?
Okay, I will say the effect of this regulation they are bringing about would actually have a good and a bad side. I tried before coming here, I've tried laying my hands on the draft copy, but I couldn't. Okay. It was just some snapshot that I saw of the bill itself was not actually social media to say. Is this NBC, Nigerian Broadcast Commission, that is actually trying to amend its bill. So in the process of that amendment, they now want to extend their reach to also regulate social media. So, and one of the highlights I saw there was like before you own any social media account, individual, corporate, you need a form of identification, which is not wrong in my own estimation, in my own view, if you ask me, because at least that will help to curtail fake news. That will help to curtail news that are malicious and that have evil intent. If it's what the government wants to achieve is actually good. It's good for business because, especially for those who sell online on Facebook and all those stuff, it means that before you have a Facebook account, probably your BVN or your NIN or TIN is attached. So the issue of defrauding people and running away will not be there. There's a place they can trace you for recovery of any stolen fund. On a positive note. Then on the negative side, it means that it now gives the government an excessive reach.
All right, let's see who is here. Okay. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Calling from Upper.
Your name? Victor?
Peter.
Peter, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Please, when you go for something on this apple, Abula, educate on apple, and show me to the Papa. Oh, not there, where you got a new Kamaya.
Okay, Peter, Dalo, but this is ABS television. Though now your point is noted. But no, this is television. Okay. Now, you were saying something.
So then on the negative side, the fear is that it can also give the government overreaching powers to stifle freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Imagine someone who have as much followers like 5 million, 10 million out there, and because he expresses an opinion that is contrary, not necessarily force, but it's contrary to that of the government, the government can also go down to take down his account, making him lose. At least we are privy to what happened late 2011 when Twitter fact-checked the statement of our then president. The president, in his own wisdom, rose up and decided to send Twitter out of Nigeria for about not until 2022 January that they now had to say they reached a kind of a consensus with Twitter, which we did not see. So that is actually the fear of the young people, that overreaching power. People must be able to express themselves. You can check lies, you can check hate speech, you can check malicious, but don't stifle freedom of expression.
All right, let's see who is here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and your location, please. Okay, all right. Now, if you're just joining us, we are talking about regulating the social media, the implications. This is what the federal government is about to do. And of course, we're here to look at it, how best to handle the situation so that it will be for the benefit of all and not for the interest of select few. Sure. Okay. If you want to join us, join the conversation. There's a phone line on your screen to call, or you can also go to ABS Facebook page to drop your comment on the issue. All right. Okay, we all have a caller. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name and what do you want to tell us?
My name is Loveline.
Okay, go ahead. I think these are kids calling us this morning. All right, now talking about this regulation and or whatnot, I don't know. What do you think we stand to lose as a government or as a nation if the government does not, or if they do not regulate this social media? Do you think we are losing anything if they don't do it? Or do you think we're not losing anything? Do we lose or do we not lose anything if they regulate it?
Well, when you talk about losing, you also have to talk about what we are gaining too, especially when it comes to do with the youth. Okay. You need to consider what the youth are also gaining from the social media platform. And also as a Nigerian, when you look at a people and you find out that they spend more time in a particular thing, it means that that is actually meeting to their demand, they are meeting to their needs. An average Nigerian, even we that are seated here, if you check very well, you find out that somehow you must have visited one or two social media platforms this morning. And if you are not gaining anything from there, it will not be attracting you the way it does. So there is actually a lot we Nigerians, and the truth is, social media have made us to be Nigerians without boundary. And we actually, you know, we are at the end of the day, we are enjoying the benefits of, we're actually spreading out our wings all over the world with the help of social media. So, and if you at the end of the day wants to regulate it and people no longer find it interesting, they'll start losing interest. Just like the way we do now. Most people now, DSTV, GoTV seems to be selling more in this country, not because Nigerians don't want to watch the local stations, but somehow they are not finding it that interesting. And you don't push people to what, and what will happen at the end of the day is that when you start regulating this, somehow another thing will still come out that they are going to be directed to. And that same thing that you avoid, you stopped here, they will still create it there, and the thing continues and life continues. So if you want to talk about what we are going to lose, is going to be bigger than what they think they want to achieve. Because why I'm saying this is this. One is, if you want to set up any commission now to do this thing, as far as it's a federal government stuff, they are going to consider preference again. You know, and you know, part of what Ilela said, that's the Minister for Information, said that the social media is their problem. And I kept wondering, why is the social media their problem?
It's simple. The social media is actually the opposition you have.
The opposition.
Yes.
To their
To the
what?
government. We are in a democratic setting.
Okay.
You have the government in power and you have the opposition. So the political parties are there. Statutory, they ought to play the role of the opposition, but they are not there. But because if you actually come online, if you find most critics of the government, they are outside the political parties.
But any government that want to work, should count on those criticisms to live up to the expectations of the masses. Don't you think so?
I think
Criticism is part of evaluation.
That is the thing.
It's part of evaluation.
If I'm true to what I'm doing, I should be happy if criticized.
That someone is pointing out a blind
it's going
spot
to help
or an
me
error.
to up my game somehow. Or don't you think so? Or what are we not working for the interest of the masses again?
Unfortunately, that is not the real thing on ground. It ought to be the way you just said it. But given the Nigerian context, it doesn't actually play out that way. Because for people to come into power, like this administration that came into power, before they came, they were telling us, grab it, snatch it, and run with it. So someone that had that kind of matcha comes into a place. So if you want to actually exert control, be in charge, and make sure that whatever thing he has in mind, whether the good, the bad, the ugly, there is no form of opposition that would be able to stop him. So, and they have identified the social media as the opposition. Just as I said, if you do a research, that most critics of this government are actually outside the political system. They don't belong to any political party. They're just freelance Nigerians who have access to social media platform or some other conventional platforms that are voicing out their concerns
yes,
about the maladministration, about the suffering in the lands, about what the government is not getting wrong. So,
it's not getting right.
Sorry, what the government is not getting right. Okay. So the only way they can get back to those people is actually to grab the social media and now be in charge of it, and so that they tell you how many posts you can do in a day. They tell you how long your post needs to be fact-checked before you can upload. So those things are possible. You can actually do a post and upload it, but it wouldn't come online. They tell you that government is fact-checking it, or the government is trying to approve it. Then after 6 months or 3 months or whatever, they tell you they are done with the approval, and they will post it online. Meanwhile, the news is already stale.
All right, the program is still Good Morning Anambra, regulating the social media space that we're looking for a program or what the federal government is planning to do. At this point, to take a short break, let's feel the pulse of the masses on the streets. We'll be right back.
Positive and negative effects on Nigerians. Based on the positive aspect, at least it will reduce most of the things that people post online, because when people come to social media, they post whatever they feel like, anything they want to say, they say it, not minding whether it hurts others or it doesn't hurt other people. So I believe if they regulate it in a way to actually bring about a positive impact, it will reduce the number of things that people post online.
Some of the things being posted on social media these days is not supposed to. And all these content creators, there is this one, maybe when one wants to post maybe his or her business, he first of all posts something that is not good, like sexual stuffs, in order to attract some people to view their post. So some of those things are not good.
Then negative impact, based on the fact that most people getting their money from social media is actually their means of livelihood, I would say it would reduce like the number of the way people actually go about their means of work. Like take for instance those who use it to advertise their products online, advertise their work or whatever they do. I believe if they start regulating most of those things, they won't freely post every single thing that they have.
Talking about these content creators, when someone is inside his or her room, so our house, making videos, posting online, both the good and bad ones,
regulating social media is going to restrict a whole lot of young Nigerians. You know, there are so many trends that are going on. There are a lot of things that we need to find out that is going on around us. If we try to restrict social media, that means we are going to be restricting us, the young persons, from knowing what is going around in the world.
So I think what the government are trying to do, or what they are trying, the restriction of some certain things is going to be a very effective something.
There's this country that you cannot access TikTok, you cannot access Instagram and all of those things. So I think regulating social media in Nigeria is really going to be something that will get out of hand, and that is something that we shouldn't even do. Let's just try and have freedom of, let's say, freedom of expression. I think that's just it. Thank you.
It's not necessary, because due to our country we have certain issues where we can be able to upload on the internet to let the government know our needs. So if they put some certain ban on social media, we cannot be able to put something to internet. So it's very bad. So I don't encourage such thing.
We do have freedom of speech, so I guess those restrictions would kind of like, it borders on the freedom of speech stuff, because if you're not allowed to actually speak your mind online or say what you feel online, then that actually disturbs when it comes to your human rights.
Due to this social media, some of the youth are not working, because the Facebook and Instagram, IG, Twitter, most of them are paying the youth. They are using from there to earn some money.
Youth now depends on social media to earn their living. We have a lot of them, ranging from the comedians, skit makers. It will have a lot of effect on them. We should have regulations to the things we post. Even the social media, like Twitter, the body should know the type of things they allow in their space.
Let me actually correct something before we move on. Ilela is actually the DG, Director General, National or Broadcasting Commission, NBC. That's Balarabe Ilela, and not the Minister of Information, as I said earlier. Okay, now we've had the people speak on what they think. You know, it's like most of the people interviewed are youths, you know, and they want to protect their own, you know, that the social media gives them money. So what do you think concerning their opinions?
Okay, let me weigh in on that. As for the youth now, if you are observant enough, you discover that most youths are actually leveraging on the opportunities in social media. Most of them, especially on TikTok, that pays more. Instagram, Twitter recently started paying, X started paying. Facebook has also joined the league of having monetized pages and other stuff. So given our unemployment rates and the difficulty in accessing jobs and business opportunities, we discover it is easier for the youth to leverage on those opportunities, whether on the e-commerce side of it, or on the content creation side of it, or on the business analysis side of it, or whichever opportunities that are there that are legitimate and genuine on social media. And they are making, I know a lot of them that are living well. At least they're able to put food on their tables, food basic bills, and some have also become quite influential and made a lot of money, like Oga Sabinus. He just started a few years ago. Down the line, the guy has just gone into so much wealth. That wealth came from social media. He doesn't know buying and selling. He doesn't know any other
so
thing.
as the youths are saying, they should not stifle them.
They shouldn't stifle.
You know, in regulating the social media, what do you think, or how best do you think the government should go about it so that everybody will be happy at the end of the day?
Well, the thing there is the social media owners are already doing a lot. The social media owners are already doing a lot. Like one of those people that were interviewed talked about people that want to advertise their product, and they will start with a naked person. The thing there is there's no video now that you want to watch, especially the one that have a harmful content that the owners of the social media will not block and now take your permission for you to view it. You cannot view it unless they will show you that, okay, if you want to view it, click on this. And they will first of all warn you that this thing has a harmful content. Now, unless if you want to view it, you can now go ahead and view it. So to an extent, the social media owners are really doing a lot. And if they are going to do anything, they have to align with them. They have to align with them. But you know, one of the reasons why they shut down Twitter the other time was because the owner of social media, that social media platform, did not align with them. And they didn't, that was one of the reasons why they had to now take that drastic action. So if you now want them to align with them, I'm sure that the owners of this platform will definitely be putting the masses into consideration when they are taking some of their decisions. So if they align with them, they will know, like even some of the things we talked about, okay, that you are going to register and do all these things. They have things like that already. That's why when you do the proper identification, they will come and put a mark, a blue mark on your account.
On Facebook.
Sticker.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they put that blue mark, a sticker, more like it shows that, okay, this person have done all the verification, have done all the information that you need to do. So anything you are dealing with this person, we have certified him. That's what it means. And that thing, it doesn't need money for you to do it. You can go ahead and do it, but a lot of Nigerians that are also in social media don't even try to study to know what they need to do. You understand? And one of the problems I have is this. To an extent, there is a lot we can actually do with these social media platforms. Like he talked about in terms of all these skit makers and all that. Even business people, there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of things we can do with that platform. Like these days now, there are a lot of things in my own stuff that I do. There are a lot of things I learn from some of all these content creators that helps me also to develop my business. The only problem we have is this. If there is always a consciousness that you have to, vet what you are posting. If there's anything that they can do to make people vet what they are posting before they post it. Because some of all these things is just, sometimes it's not constructing your English very well. Sometimes it's just not constructing your English very well. And when you understand the implication of that, you have to vet it very well and check some of the things you need to really fine tune for you to be able to put it up, so that, because you are dealing with human beings and we are emotional people. We're emotional people. So if the government can also have a way of aligning with the owners of this platform, I think that would be the best. But them trying to come up with this and saying this is the way it's going to be. Like one of them mentioned of some countries who don't allow some of these platforms to work in their country. They have their own local platforms. And one, they are doing that to promote their own brands. So when you come into their country, they prefer either you align with the local brand or you don't even come in at all. They work fully with their own local brand. They're kind of trying to promote them, be sure that their money is not going outside. It's actually it's still residing within their country. Just like this thing we say that social media guys are making so much money. They're making so much money because some of those money they are making is also given to them by Nigerians. Because how they make this money that you are hearing of is this. When you are watching those videos, the owners of the social media platform they already, because these guys are not paying, they now do an advert that they are paid for with that platform. Most times advertisement is all about how many people are seeing the advert. So if you're in Nigeria, they will not go and show you an advert of a company in US. They will show you an advert of companies in Nigeria that they know that is what you will need. And those companies in Nigeria must have paid Facebook or Twitter for the advert. And what Twitter will give you is just a small portion.
Percentage.
Yes, from what they paid them. So if they actually paid them $1,000, they could likely be giving you $10 or $5. And because of how those money is coming, because of how many views you have, you look as if you actually made very big money. But a lot of our money have gone outside. You understand? So that is why that though another advantage is this, because the whole thing is not actually bound, is not all about Nigeria alone. There are a lot of Nigerians are spread out in many countries because of the way the country is. There is no country you can talk of in the world now that you will not find Nigerians. And most times, these are the things that help them have a feel of home. So to an extent too, those people in those countries, because there's a location stuff that helps them know where you are.
Yeah.
You understand? There's a bot that does that. So if someone is in London, a Nigerian that is in London that is watching it, they will play adverts for him for products or activities that is happening in London. You understand? So to an extent, that one comes to us. That one comes to Nigeria. So I think for them to do that, I think they need to just align with these people. But I'm not sure they will.
Align with social media owners.
Platform, yes.
Okay, your take. What do you think?
Okay, I actually want to come in from an angle that will help the financial state of our country, and that is the taxation part of it. So I don't think the federal government is doing enough to extract the revenue that they ought to from social media. There are a lot of opportunities that are paying very well. So, but the government itself, the last time they had that beef with Twitter, finally they had to let Twitter come in, and they said Twitter ought to have to get incorporated, register and stuff like that, so that they'll be able to get their taxes and all those things from Twitter. I don't think that has happened. I'm not sure. But given the way they are going about it, and I don't think that has happened. And that is actually the area they ought to focus, because this government needs money. The country is just broke. If there's anything beyond broke,
Okay, something
we are
to
broke.
boost the
Something
economy
to
of
boost
the
the economy.
nation.
Yes, this platform is generating a lot of revenues for Nigerians and for themselves. So you should work out modalities on how you can partner with them to be picking this, to get enough taxes that will help our economy here. One is that the identification thing that they mentioned is actually not bad, it's good. In the sense that it helps to put a face
At
to
least
whoever,
let me know who I'm dealing with.
Those who are in e-commerce. If somebody is promoting or selling anything and his page is verified, you know that this person
I don't think
traced.
government should do that. Let the owners of the platform do that one. Government should not come and start telling us.
Okay, now.
Do you understand?
Sorry, let me clarify. If the owners of the platform does that, and there's need for litigation, or there's need to make arrest when fraud occurs, how do you now pursue that route? Mr. A advertised online for a product, and I, Mr. B, sent my money requesting for that product, and Mr. A refused to send the product, or probably send something substandard, and by the time I raised my complaint, he blocked me. So how do I have access to that? Or how does the Nigerian authority have access to the information of that Mr. A, who is a seller online?
No, when it comes to selling, when it comes to commercializing things,
it's all encompassing.
I know it's all encompassing, I know. But when it comes to the aspect of commercializing, this is more like a secondary activity that happens on social media.
But it's the one that gives more money now.
It's
the
not-
one that
that's
generates
not
most
even-
of the
that's not even the
revenues.
major thing. That's not
All
even
right,
the thing
now
that
I
gives
know
money.
when we
Because-
started, we talk about the previous governments having
Yes.
tried so hard to regulate the social media, and at the end of the day, they couldn't. And this time around, I think they are bent on doing it. Now, what are the challenges you think they are going to face? Obinna, let me begin with you. What are some of the challenges they are going to, that's the challenges this particular bill is going to face?
I think the challenges they are going to face is how they are going to implement it.
Thank you.
That's the challenge I think they are going to feel. Because how are they going to implement it? It's because they could not, the government could not do what they could do the other, and that's why they decided to shut down Twitter in Nigeria. How are they going to implement it? how will you now say, okay, this one now is not the right one they're supposed to post? Because what it simply means now, you are trying to put everything now for it to be coming from the country. That's the only way you can vet all these things. If it's still coming from all the social media platforms, they will now say, okay, this one, no, we don't want this one. How will you know that this is the one that government doesn't want from you, or this is the one that government does? So how are they going to implement it? I think that's a major problem that they are going to have.
The government, the
yes,
are going to have. Okay, I don't know, but where do you see this taking us as a country? Where do you see it?
I think we just keep moving in circle until we get our act right.
In which circle?
Because the bill has been coming and going now. It came in 2015, it came in 2019, in under different nomenclatures. So we just keep coming and going. It just has like been appointed that we as a country actually have problem of implementation. If you want to check the social media, there are actually enough laws on ground to do that. We have the Cyber Security Act.
And it should be across board, though.
Yes, you have the Cyber Security Act there that has to talk about cyberbullying, cyber stalking, and other malicious behaviors online. So if they actually want to do that, they can actually, after all, some governors, I think, was it the former governor of Kaduna, arrested somebody charging the person with the Cyber Security Act. That was in 2020 or 2021 thereabout. So some other governors have made arrests with different laws, but because they are not, their interest is not just about implementation, they just want to victimize. So they make the arrest, after locking the person up for 6 months, 3 months or thereabout, they dump the person and tell him to go, that he has learned his lesson. So we actually need to establish what we want to achieve. If not, we just keep moving in circles.
And they also need to understand the implication on the young ones.
The implications on
yes.
Anyway,
they need to understand the implication on, because this country is a country where they just come up, set up something without considering
you know why I said let it cut across board, because sometimes it seems there are some people that laws are made for in this country.
Yes.
Because when you talk of social media, virtually everybody is on social media.
Most of these political class have media aides that does propaganda for them. I remember the time they did P2B's own yes sir. I don't know if you remember that one.
That audio tape.
I just woke up one morning and I started seeing, and I was just seeing that from a particular group of media aides in a particular party. They were all just coming out. They were the people that carried. I was just wondering, and when I just tried to look for the video, I played that and I couldn't understand why it was an issue for them, even though that stuff was manipulated. So most of all this political class, they have media aids, enough media aids that create propaganda for them.
They should even start from their own.
Yeah.
Yes.
They should start from themselves. Okay, we thank you so much. We can go on and on actually for the program, regulating the social media, the implications. They are so numerous. The people in the studio have really done justice. But the crux of the matter, or the bone of contention here, is where actually are they going to start? And of course, how are they going to go about it? But all in all, we pray that whatever is done is for the good of the people, the good of the general people of Nigerian nation. Would like to thank you so much, Obinna Nwakpadolu, for being here this morning. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
We also thank you, Uzoma Nduku, for coming this morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Nonye Nwokoye. Thank you so much for watching. Let's do this again tomorrow. It's a goodbye from here.